Failure to launch has been a term that's been thrown around for a while now. And this term, it's a derogatory term, I get it. But the meaning behind it, what we're trying to do is get our kids out to be self-sufficient. So recently I started going down and researching about the non-graduates, because there's a pretty high average of non-graduates. So especially the 18 to 25. There's almost 50% of the non-graduates between 18 and 25 are living at home. So that tells you a couple of things. And when you really boil that down, you're looking at the fact that it's not a failure to launch, it's actually a failure of self-confidence. More than likely, they didn't complete high school, thus they don't know what else to complete. And with that comes this level of protection that they kind of put around them. So they don't want to fail anymore. And that's a really terrible feeling for anybody. So we really have to kind of dive into that. So if you do have a young adult living at home that maybe hasn't completed their education, so I am putting a link into a form that I made. This is a step-by-step. It's super easy to do, but it really guides them down at least getting the GED, because without the GED, you can't do certain certification programs. You can't, there's a lot of jobs that will not hire. And I gotta be honest, like the company that I'm at, you have to have a high school education because they at least want to see that you've completed something. So, or equivalent, high school education or GED. So if we can get some of these kids that maybe don't have their GED or that next level of education, let's try the form out. At least it should work mostly for your state, but it's a pretty simple walkthrough plan. And that should help develop some self-confidence in a lot of these young people that maybe haven't graduated. But don't fall into this bucket. I'd really rather focus on the high school diploma because I feel like that would work out better for a lot of employers in the future. Might take a little bit longer, but I think that would be the best move. Because that's kind of another way of leveraging or at least pacifying for time. A lot of young adults are getting used to sort of like extending their time frame of their security net. And this is one thing that I've read a mass amount of doing. It actually happened in my house for a while, and we had to kind of circle around it. They want to get their high school diploma later in life, they're more than welcome to. But this at least opens up the door for certifications. This opens up the door for next level education. This opens up the door for a lot more employers hiring. CDL you can't even have without a high school equivalent of education at this point. So to reverse this pandemic, we maybe have to start by at least getting these young adults educated. And I would say change from failure to launch to maybe failure of self-confidence. And if they can complete this, that's a win. Let's give them that win. At least let's try to promote it as best we can. So making this a priority along with the other responsibilities is the best way to go. Don't allow this to become the single priority, because as an adult, we have to work responsibilities around other responsibilities. So the form is yours to use. I hope you can use it. I hope you can implement it in your area, and feel free to reach out. I'll put my email down below. I have a lot of parents reaching out to me. I've even had some young adults reaching out to me. So it's been a pretty interesting journey so far. I hope this helps, and let's kind of help the failure of self-confidence a bit. Let's dial that one in for them.